Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Jim.
Howdy.
Right.
Does your meeting start at 6:30 now?
Mr. McCarthy, good evening.
Good evening, Councilman Jenks. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jim?
Doing well.
Oh, brother. So what does that mean you two been up to? That's what I want to know.
Nothing. I haven't seen Bill in forever with the COVID and stuff.
I know.
God help us when they lift them.
That could be a problem or a blessing. You never know.
Yeah.
Don't tell Bill it's over, Jim.
Thanks, Keith.
Sorry, Bill.
Here goes the club again.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice not paying those big bills, though.
Yeah.
I heard Doers laid off 700 employees.
Hey, it's not because I haven't tried to help them, you know.
Tom, when we were on the board looking for a general manager the last time, we were going to make Bill appoint Bill, and we thought, it might be the best 3 weeks before it goes under that we ever had.
Yeah. I almost feel like when I send my dues in, it's like a welfare check.
I was just going to explore the honor system.
At the honor system. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, it's 6:30. We'll call the meeting to order, and I'll start by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Melissa, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bousher,
Here.
Councilmember Woodward,
Here.
Councilmember Brunner will be absent this evening. Councilmember Jenks,
Here.
Councilmember Menon,
Here.
Councilmember Durr,
Here.
and Council President Mull.
Yes, here. First item on the agenda is public comments. Anyone wish to address anything with council?
Yes, Council President, I have a few words to say.
Go ahead.
I have two issues to speak about tonight. The first one is, excuse me, that there seems to be a total lack of transparency or fairness in determining the composition of the various committees of the borough. As briefly discussed at previous Finance and Administration Committee, it appears that these appointments are solely at the discretion of one man, the Council President. Some of these individuals have been kept on even after they lost an election. There is total lack of diversity, and these individuals seem to be selected from a closed pool of friends and interests. Openings are not made public and only communicated through word of mouth. With some exceptions, individuals literally rotate from one role to another without necessarily having any special qualification for occupying the respective roles. Several examples come to mind, but I would not delve into that at this point. I'm calling for more transparency and a fair selection method based on competency. Freed up posts should be made public such that the residents interested can apply and be properly considered. The second issue, during the recent riots at the Capitol, we have seen clearly how the political convictions and personal beliefs of law enforcement can play a role in how they perform their job. And I think we're going to see more with the investigation, how that happened. In the past, we have seen the same in Wyomissing, where officers have persecuted residents based on race and ethnicity. And we have also seen persecution based on political conviction. Personal beliefs and various affiliations of the police officers, as well as the chiefs and mayor, cannot be considered anymore just a personal matter, when their actions clearly are not independent and fair. What is the council doing to make sure that the officers are not, let's say, QAnon sympathizers or part of other radical organizations and are actually responsible and treat every resident equal? That's the end of my spiel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to the rest of the meeting, I want to inform everybody there was an executive session before tonight's meeting to discuss employment matters. And at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept all committee reports.
So moved.
Tom, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Mike Fitzgerald is on the call. I had asked him to speak up during public comment to present the proceed check from Fitzy's run.
Okay, I didn't hear him, so.
No, I was kind of in the background. I wasn't really sure when I should jump in.
Oh, okay, fine, go ahead.
But, yeah, so I guess this has become somewhat of a tradition, although this is the first time it's gone virtual. But we were very fortunate this year that many of our sponsors, traditional sponsors for our Fitzy's 5K run, came through as usual, even though they suffered some economic hardship. And before I get myself in further trouble, I'm going to introduce my wife, Sarita Averill. So forgive me for not doing that initially. Sarita owns the Fleet Feet store in West Reading and is a big part of our Fitzy's 5K run, our race director. But we were fortunate in that while we saw some income loss, sponsorship loss, we did have quite a number of sponsors who still came through. And it is because of that that we were able to continue our tradition of making a donation to the borough on behalf of Lawrence Foundation, with funds donated to be used for children's programming within the police departments and the parks and recreation departments. So usually I bring my large dry erase check, but I don't think you'll be able to see that if I hold it up to the camera. So we're just going to hold up a traditional check. And honestly, I mean this when I say it, it will be in the mail in the next day or so. So I guess, Michelle, to your attention, or you can direct me to who I should send it to. And we were able to maintain the amount that we've done over the last couple of years, which is $2,500. So we appreciate the borough's support. We look forward to, just as a quick footnote, we did hold the run this year. We followed all the then published health guidelines with respect to CDC and borough and state and local authorities. About half of our normal turnout. We decided not to have the normal amenities because that would keep people around. It would keep them in closer proximity. So it was essentially show up, run, go home. We did not do our usual food service. We didn't offer childcare, but under the circumstances, we think that was the prudent thing to do. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to somewhat business as normal this October. I've been in touch with Dan Macrina to try to reserve our dates, our typical dates, last Sunday of October, which as it happens this year is on Halloween, which would be my daughter's 37th birthday. And also I've talked to Dan about possibly partnering with the borough in some ways to make this a bigger community event. So we'll continue our discussions along those lines. But thank you as always for your participation, your help, our police department for providing traffic control, and for the relationship we've established. It's very much appreciated on this end.
Thank you.
On behalf of the borough, thank you very much. And we appreciate it and look forward to a bigger and better Fritzy's Run. What more can we ask for? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You.
Okay. Now, back to the meeting. Motion to receive all committee reports. Did we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. First item is the committee minutes, our council minutes from December the 8th, 2020. Are there any additions and corrections to the minutes?
No, Melissa, one more enlargement, please. Yeah, that's much better. Okay.
And an ophthalmic appointment for.
Yeah,
Sure.
good.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes as read, please, or as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is a consulting engineers report. Jim McCarthy. Hello.
Bill, you chased him away.
I did.
Sorry, I was muted. Everything in my report is either self-explanatory or is going to come up in one of the other committee reports. I don't have anything else to add unless council has any questions.
Any questions for the consulting engineer? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting his report as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Have that one. Police chief and mayor's report. Mayor Levering.
Hello. I'd like to just simply report that all is well. I am frequently in conversation with our officer in charge, and he's reporting to me that all is functioning normally. We've been under a lot of stress with the pandemic and so on, but all continues well, and I believe the department is performing its vital function to the community exceedingly well. John, is there anything you'd like to add to your report? John is apparently muted.
Yeah, there we go. I got it. Sorry about that. I just wanted to point out on the first page of the report, something that I added a little differently down at the business district section under CT6 where it was Equus Development. I added Wawa there as that was part of that whole reconstruction of the area. That parking lot used to be part of what we call our Census Tract 7, but most of our incidents are occurring in that area at the Wawa. So I wanted to make sure that you guys see that and the difference of that. That's 7 there are coming primarily from our Wawa there at Ethan, our Park and Penn. We had 469 calls for the month. We had a few things on the interest for the month. I want to make note of one in particular where on the 23rd of December, we had another overdosing incident where our officers had to actually make entry into a vehicle. The person was unresponsive, and we're able to administer Narcan and bring that individual back. It was Officer Scott Schaefer that was the primary officer on that. They did a good job, and since we've got that Narcan, I think we've had 8 incidents this year so far where we've had to administer the Narcan, and we're able to bring the person back. So since we've gotten this, it's been a great added tool for us in being able to save lives, where before we had it, we were losing a lot more people than we currently are. And then I wanted to let the council know, if you take notice, that we did have 2 officers through the month that had COVID. They were lucky to have mild flu-like symptoms and were out for a little while, but are back to work. And Mr. Jenks, I wanted to let you know that the LPR system is here. It is scheduled to be put on the cars on Wednesday of next week. So I'm hoping for fire and police to have pictures to present to you so that you can see the cameras on the cars.
That's great. Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, John. All those in favor of accepting the police chief and mayor's report as written, please signify by saying aye.
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 Have it. Fire commissioner's report. Bill.
Okay, for the month of December, the fire department responded to a total of 135 calls, of which 78 of those were in the borough. There was damage of $41,600, which I believe majority of that was from an oil burner malfunction fire. And total responses for 2020, 1,526 calls for service. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that? All those in favor of accepting that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Have it. Personnel committee, Tom.
Okay. At our meeting, we came out of there with a motion that the committee was going to recommend to council to approve the proposed borough manager and non-union hourly and salary staff's compensation rates for 2021. And I will make that motion to make it official.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Have it, so ordered.
Okay, and that was all.
Right.
We're good.
Very good.
Yep.
Any other questions for the personnel? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes, got it. Economic development, John.
I wasn't at that meeting. I was playing in the snow. So Bill chaired the meeting for me. Could you take over, Bill?
Well, I reviewed it the other day. Michelle, can you help me out here a little bit?
Sure. Eric Schock, who is an attorney that represents Veteran Services USA, gave a presentation to the committee about a proposed idea for them to purchase the Crowne Plaza and then do a residential component for age restricted, and then also do an adult daycare component, and then veteran services. There was a lot of back and forth between the committee and Eric. He agreed to follow up with supplemental information, hopefully in time for this month's Economic Development Committee. And I, in the meantime, have done some additional research that will be presented at this month's Economic Development Committee meeting. Melissa, can you scroll down a little bit? Bike share stations, I gave an update on that and just the progress with Tower Health also signing their contract. And then Fred and I both gave an update on the December 16th Burke Smart Growth Alliance. Copies of the minutes from that meeting were provided to the Economic Development Committee in advance of the meeting. And just a general update that Jim McCarthy and I both received an inquiry about development at the corner of the Berkshire Mall property at State Hill Road and Woodland Road.
Yeah, what's that one all about?
Interest in putting in a Walgreens. Though since Jim and I got that original inquiry, we've not received any further correspondence or, more importantly, any type of subdivision or land development plan.
Michelle, I know it was brought up in one of the meetings. None of these projects where they're talking about at the hotel would be tax exempt, correct?
Correct.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I believe they were talking about a 15-year lease or something, if my notes serve me correctly.
Veteran Services would actually be purchasing the property. I don't remember the lease terms, or I actually don't remember discussion about a lease, so I apologize for that. There are still some details they need to work out based on the questions that the committee raised to them about, you know, how the different uses would operate together, parking, access, things like that. Again, Eric, when I spoke to him yesterday, was supposed to be speaking to his client today and then getting back to me about whether or not he'll be prepared for the January 28th Economic Development meeting this month.
Is this because the Crown Plaza is not doing well economically, or?
The Crown Plaza has been on the market since January of 2020.
Okay.
I've actually spoken to a few parties that were interested in purchasing it, some local, some out of state. This is the first one that's moved forward with any type of, you know, formalized plan for what they intend to do with it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it, Michelle?
On my end, yes, unless anyone has any questions.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the Economic Development Committee report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Have it. Thank you very much. Next one is infrastructure. Tom.
Okay. Yes, right there, Melissa. After some discussion about some properties and a specific property at 24 Valley Road, the committee is recommending the council to authorize the solicitor to file an action for injunction to allow the borough to remove the fence and drain the pool water at 24 Valley Road, which has, we were presented with a visual of that whole setup, and the committee agrees and believes that that motion, or that injunction, I'm sorry, should take place, and I will make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, and moving on there to the streets, under the 4th Street extension, there was a recommendation, the committee's making a recommendation to council to approve the payment application number 2 in the amount of $87,195.52 to Boris Construction, and I'll make that motion.
And a second.
Second.
We have a second. And roll call, please, Melissa.
Councilmember Boucher,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
and Council President Mall.
Yes.
Okay, and along at the same project, motion, the committee's making a recommendation, and I will make a motion for payment application number 3 in the amount of $154,595.97, also to Barwis Construction.
And we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please, Melissa.
Councilmember Boucher,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
and Council President Mull.
Yes.
Okay, at the same project, due to I don't know what to call it here, missing in the drilling for a lack of, I guess, having a lack of stone base, which was not sufficient for the street. There had to be a change order there to, I guess, bring in more stone to make a better base for the final topping. In the amount of, it's change order number 3, in the amount of $21,801.47. And I'll make that motion in hopes that they get a better drilling map next time or something.
And a second?
Second.
Oh, Melissa, please.
Councilmember Boucher,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
Council President Mull.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the next area here, the pedestrian bridge at the, well, we're not calling it a stone house, I guess now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, the stone house footbridge there at Parkside Drive South. The committee is recommending the council to authorize the borough engineer to prepare necessary bid documents for that bridge replacement project, and I will make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it. So ordered.
Okay, we're a little busier this month. Grass mowing bids for 2021 were reviewed, and the committee is recommending the council for the borough mowing contract to Smitty's Landscaping for a rate of $1,725 for a complete cut of 25 different mowing areas within the borough, designated, I guess, by Jim Babb. And I'll make that motion.
We have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Melissa, please.
Councilmember Boucher,
Yes?
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
Council President Mull.
Yes.
Okay, and excuse me, final action by the committee is a recommendation to council to approve the assumption of responsibility by the borough for maintenance of the new electronic school signal at Woodland Road and resume signal maintenance for the current electronic school signals. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion in the second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. That is,
Okay. Go ahead. Who's there? Oh, was there a question?
no, I just asked if that's it.
No, okay. No, I just had one for, is Jim Babb here tonight?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Jim, when we get rid of, this is a question I just saw when I saw some things in the checks and stuff. Who picks up the leaves now and where do they take them?
We collect our leaves and deposit them either out Old Wyomissing Road by the park, behind the park barn,
Right.
or Spring Township has a transfer station also. They are hauled out of both of those places by a hauler who is the low bidder on a Berks County cooperative purchasing contract. Hopewell Trucking is the one for this year that hauls them away.
Okay. So it's not just ours. They get a whole bunch of other places too.
It's us, Spring Township, and Sinking Spring, I believe, are the only ones that have jumped on this contract for leaf hauling. Yes. But it's at least the three of us that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, I was just wondering, I didn't know where they, I saw a guy out there one day I walked out there, I saw him dumping them in a truck.
Right.
And yeah, and I was just wondering,
Yeah.
where they went or who it was. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just had a Berks County Cooperative Purchasing meeting today, and it's a problem. There's no value in the leaves, just like there's no value in recyclable materials, and it gets more difficult and more difficult to get rid of them.
Yeah, we used to get money from those people, right?
Not money, but Giorgio Mushroom used to take them.
Oh, that's
so
right.
we would have to pay trucking. The trucking is the killer. It's such a commodity that they have no value. It's the trucking that's the cost.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it, Tom.
Any questions for the Infrastructure Committee? Hearing none, I'll ask all those in favor of accepting that report as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Library, Jody.
Yes, hello. The library board met on December 21st. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but I think the meeting, the minutes are self-explanatory, and it looks like it was an efficient meeting. It only lasted 11 minutes, so I don't think it was probably too eventful. People want to get out of there and on with their holidays, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless anybody has any questions for me or anything you'd like me to pass along, that's all I have. The next meeting will be January 18th at 7.
Okay. Any questions for the library board? All those in favor of accepting that report as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Planning Commission, John.
Well, they were kind enough to appoint me chair for another year, which I appreciate. Hopefully once we get 4th Street done and medical school opens up, maybe my work will be done in that capacity, but that's neither here nor there at this point. You go down a little bit, Melissa. A little further. Okay, the minutes are kind of self-explanatory, but the Planning Commission recommends that council approve advertisement of the zoning amendment overlay regulation subject to review of the County Planning Commission and any further actions needed by the Borough Planning Commission. And I so move.
And a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Have it.
If I could just reiterate one thing, Tom, Michelle and Chris and others have done a lot of work on this, and we're finally crossing the goal line. And Jim, by the way. So it'll be a good thing. And that's all I have.
Well, just my personal comment as far as the economic development and the Planning Commission players over the last several years have done an outstanding job and have really charted the course for this community in the next 50 years. Can't say enough good things about it. Everything has turned out beautifully, and it's been a lot of effort, but it's paid off. And you, John, and the committee members, Michelle, Jim McCarthy, Pat Brandenburg, Jim Babb, everybody that's worked so hard to get this done right deserves a lot of credit from the community at large, and we thank you for that. Anything for the Planning Commission? All those in favor of accepting that report as written, please signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it. Finance and Administration, Keith.
We had a meeting on last Thursday. There was a reorganization done for the committee. Phyllis brought the year-end results, which you have in front of you. Primarily, I think the highlights would be that we budgeted in 2020 to have a $1 million deficit. And as it turned out, we were extremely fortunate in that the revenues came in pretty much on budget, as opposed to where our fear was that we were going to have a huge COVID effect and have reduced revenues. So we ended the year with a $1 million surplus against budget. But the $1 million deficit and $1 million surplus equaled exactly the $2 million of capital projects that we put on hold. So exactly what we thought might happen did, and we were fortunate in that revenues didn't decline. I still think, looking back, I think we as a committee and the board made the right decision putting those projects on hold, since we just didn't know how the year was going to end. Fortunately, we didn't. So now we've regrouped, and the new budget has a lot of those capital projects back in it. The only other thing, I think the highlight, and thanks to Phyllis and to Michelle and Pat, we received $96,000 reimbursement for a lot of the expenses that were incurred during the COVID expenditures from the CARES Act, and that came back into the coffers. Other than that, there's the report. I think it gives you the information you need, unless there's any questions.
I think we have a resolution.
I don't think that's going to be ready.
Keith, there's one piece of it that we're able to take action on tonight, the resolution that's on the agenda for the appointment of Melissa as the borough secretary.
Oh, okay. Where is that one, Melissa?
Okay.
So I just read the beginning of it, Chris?
Yeah, just read the title page.
Okay, the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2020-01, a resolution of Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, County of Berks, Pennsylvania, appointing Melissa Miller as Wyomissing Borough Secretary. And I will make that motion.
And the second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Congratulations, Melissa.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. That it for you, Keith?
That's it, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for finance? All those in favor of accepting that report as written, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much. Next is the Borough Manager's report. Platt.
Good evening. Just before I get into my report, I wanted to just acknowledge Melissa and congratulate her on her promotion up to Borough Secretary. She started with us a year or so ago and has embraced the job and has done an excellent job of the Borough Secretary's role. And she has, in many occasions, rose to the occasion to get the job done. So I appreciate it and wanted to personally thank her and make a note in the minutes, please.
Okay.
The Joint Municipal Authority meeting minutes of November 9th, 2020 and the 2021 budget for the Joint Municipal Authority are in your packets for review. We had a Public Works employee retire, Matt Huffman, retired from the Public Works Department on December 31st, 2020 after 40 plus years of dedicated service to the borough. With council's permission, I'd like to send a letter of thank you for council's signature at the next meeting.
By all means.
Okay. Also, as Sergeant Phillips indicated, the license plate reader has been received by the police department, which was donated by Mr. Phil Wolf and his wife. I think Councilman Jenks would like to bring up making a resolution to that effect.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Brandenburg. I would like to make a motion that a resolution be drawn up for Mr. and Mrs. Phil Wolf for another, and I say another because the Wolves have generously donated equipment to better our police department for a number of years. And once again, they did it again this year with the generous gift of the new license plate reader. And I'll make a motion for a resolution.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Thank you.
Okay,
Also, at council's direction, I've been in contact with the United States Department of Agriculture Wildlife Division, who has proposed to do a deer density survey proposal for the borough at a cost of $3,154.83. And they would complete that in late January, early February to provide council with options regarding the deer complaints from the public. So I would ask for your approval.
do somebody wish to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's do a roll call vote on that, Melissa, please.
Councilmember Boucher,
No.
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
and Council President Mull.
Yes. Okay. Motion carries.
Thank you. Pains me to have to bring up to council regarding an issue with the fire department's tower ladder. It suffered some major issues with the engine and will require emergency repairs in the amount of approximately $30,000. That's replacement of a turbocharger in the diesel engine, injectors in the diesel engine, and it has developed an exhaust leak under the cab, which presents a safety issue to firefighters. So I would ask the council to approve the expensive funds to make repairs to the tower.
Somebody wish to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All, let's do a roll call, Melissa.
Oh, we're gonna, okay, I guess that's, any other questions about that, Pat? Is there anything else?
I was gonna bring up another thing right afterwards
Oh,
regarding
okay.
this.
All right, after we pay the bill, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Councilmember Boucher,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodward,
Yes.
Councilmember Jenks,
Yes.
Councilmember Menon,
Yes.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
and Council President Mull.
Yes. Okay, Pat.
And tacking on to that with the tower, it is probably going to be a good idea to surplus that unit and place it up for disposal at the next available time frame if an appropriate monetary offer is given. So I'd like the council's permission to begin that process of research for disposition of that vehicle, and also to sit down and work with Chief Hackman to develop a apparatus replacement plan to take us out 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Somebody wish to make that motion?
So moved.
We have a motion.
Sorry,
and a-
Jody.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay.
Okay, just a minor note, Borough Hall continues to be closed to the public due to COVID. We're continuing our normal operations under the COVID plan. Melissa is constantly updating our website to make sure it's got the closest and neatest information on COVID. And we are still continuing to operate under the borough's declaration of local emergency, which I feel is still necessary. I would like council's blessing to continue under that declaration of local emergency and the pandemic response plan protocols and guidance through the CDC state and our West Side Emergency Management Agency.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd recommend a motion on that recommendation from Pat.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Do somebody wish to make that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. You have it, Pat.
And that's all I have. Thanks for council's support.
Okay, well, thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. Next item of business is the treasurer's statement of operation for the general fund, the Bureau of Water, Sewer Fund, Highway Aid, Refuse and Recycling, and the Road Tax Fund. Greg Portner isn't with us tonight. Is there any questions that Keith Durr could answer? Anybody have any issues with that? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of accepting that report as written, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have it. Next is the accounts payable for the general fund, Bureau of Water, the Sewer Fund, Refuse and Recycling Fund. These were the checks that were issued during last month. Any questions on those?
Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
I just, a question, I guess this is for Jim. Fire hydrants, $16,000. Are those just ones we keep in stock?
That's correct. Yep, they were budgeted.
Okay, and how many do we get for that amount?
I think we got 6 hydrants in this last delivery.
Okay. Okay, and this one falls under you too, I guess. I saw where we got multiple new plows. How many did we get? I was trying to figure that out when I read through the checks there.
I'm unclear on that one. We didn't get any new. Well, we took delivery of a new truck that had a large dump truck, which we took delivery of early December, and there was a plow. I believe it was 20 grand. That was part of that truck, if that's what you were seeing.
Oh, it's 47,144 was the check number, and there were multiple numbers there. It would go 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then I didn't know if they were all brand.
When we purchase a truck, the chassis from Freightliner is one invoice, and then the upfit of the dump body, the plow, all the hydraulics come with multiple different invoices from that vendor. So I'd ask that you let me look into that and get back to you.
Okay, yeah,
exactly what that was.
It looked like a bunch of plows, and I thought looked like we got all new ones for each truck or something. I didn't know.
No, we took delivery of one plow for one new truck. I'd have to see what you're looking at to answer that question.
Yeah, just so I know what it is. 47.
Tom, is that check number 47138?
144.
44, Pat. It's on page 13.
144.
I think when we signed those, Tom, that a lot of that stuff is for different pieces of equipment. They just put new plow, but it's different pieces that went into that whole thing.
So it's not.
Yes. Now that I'm looking at that, whoever did that data entry just put in new plow when that's not the correct verbiage. Spreader, plow, dump body, but somehow that all got noted as new plow.
Yeah.
But it's all related to one truck. All the existing trucks still have their same plows.
Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't tell. I didn't think we bought a plow for $38,000, but I couldn't figure out what it was supposed to be. Okay.
I can get you the detail. I can send you the detail of those invoices.
That's okay, as long as I know what it was. I couldn't figure out what was going on there. That's okay. I guess that was the only other thing I saw. Craft inspections, 24,000, Michelle?
That's building permit revenue.
Okay, so that came back to us, or we did it.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah, okay. And the only other one I saw in there was Dan Macrina for schools. Is that for the rec stuff that he went to, or what?
Yes, that was for his, I'm gonna get the initials wrong, the PRCP. It's for his certification, yes.
CPRP.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, that's it.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the accounts payable, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I have it. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the tax collector's report. Any questions on that? All those in favor of accepting her report as written, please signify by saying aye.
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 Have it. Also, we have the 2021 appointments and reappointments to all the different committees of the borough. And these were set forth in accordance with the rules of the Wyomissing Code, and the list will be included on the borough website. I'm sure everybody's gotten a copy of these. And that's it for that. And I think that just about does it. Any other business to be brought before council this evening?
Yeah, Tom, if I may, I have a question for Mayor Levering.
Go ahead.
Last night I heard on Channel 69 that the county has finalized their rail plan. And I saw the map and it has the rail stopping in Reading.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Can you give us a brief update?
Well, it's the original proposal that the consultant was tasked for was to examine the overall potential for Reading to Philadelphia service, and then it was expanded to be able to connect to New York and down to DC in the 95 corridor. I immediately argued for coming over to Wyomissing. I've had extensive conversations with the Reading Hospital because of their interest in having it for the medical school. The consultants and the county commissioners and the Chamber of Commerce are well aware of our combined interest in getting it to Wyomissing, which I think would be a more complete service. And it will be continued to be part of the discussion. I mean, there's the pandemic, unfortunately, has set the whole project back a bit, as you can all understand. And hopefully in the coming couple of months, we're going to be able to pick this up again. But I assure you that the suggestion and, in my opinion, requirement of bringing it to Wyomissing is well understood.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or observations for this evening's meeting? Hearing none, I think we'll stand adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
You too.